I'm live. Awesome. Hey everyone. How you going? Welcome. I was chatting away for quite some time before I realised that it actually wasn't live. So we're here now. And if this is a little bit janky, I'll trim it up before it goes public. So last time we've gone live was about 10 days ago. And what we were doing was exploring the characters, the plot, the genre, the limitations, sort of started to work out what we would do for our next feature, and I was getting your help. So let me just recap briefly what we've been through previously. What we came up with last time. We worked on this Google Doc that you should be able to see on the screen. This is the last thing that we came up with. There's a few different interesting characters that were there. Let me just recap it, as I said, and then I'll show you what I've worked on since. Because I've been a busy little boy, and I got a lot to show you, so I'm very excited. Now, basically, the plot that we came up with, pardon me, the plot we came up with is that aliens have visited Australia in this alternate reality. Now, the human governments around the world have nuked the alien ships and consequently have destroyed Australia, leaving both aliens and humans in a nuclear wasteland to survive together in the outback. Now, most of the aliens were killed in these targeted attacks, but some roam the remnants of Australia in the outback. So that's sort of where we're at, yeah? So what I wanted to do was, initially, last time, we came up with some characters that we could play around with, come up with a bit of a story. And we did that. We got the bare bones of a story all together. So I'll briefly take you through that. So the story was going to start with a group of characters with a box of medicine and supplies. They get ambushed. We cut to our fish out of water character. So this person is hidden away and has been avoiding the apocalypse. Now they've needed to go out for whatever reason and explore the apocalypse to try and get some supplies. We come across Roberts, who's a sheriff, and he takes over the story. He starts to try and investigate the initial massacre we see at the beginning. And then he comes across who we've just been calling the Cat. When I've done a bit more work on it, I've just called him the Crazed Survivor. We'll come up with something more fixed at some point, but in the film he may not have a name. Then what we have is it goes to one of the survivors who made it through this attack at the beginning, and then he completes his story. So we in the planning of this, we decided that it would be like a relay race where they hand the baton over to the next character, and we experience this story through multiple lenses. Now, since our last stream, I've gone and expanded the story a bit. We've developed a few more characters, and I've worked on a bit of a beat sheet / mood board. I've got some pictures there, so I want to take you through that. But first of all, we're going to shut this door that's clanging around. Give me a moment. I think it's that one, I think it's this one. It's a noisy one. There we go. It's a windy day over here. Now, Dreadboy Studios, hey buddy, I can see you here. And I have been following your YouTube channel, mate, so I know you've changed your name. Now, let's have a look. I think my working title for the film isn't going to be movie, or like I called it over here, new film. I think I'm going to call it The Big Smoke. What? Or something like that. So that's sort of Aussie slang. If I look up Big Smoke slang, it's informal UK or Australian English slang for large city. So the usage is, he was a young lad of 16 when he first came to the Big Smoke. It was her first time in the Big Smoke. So I like the idea of using maybe some Aussie slang throughout it. I like the idea as well of them referring, to the big smoke as the place they need to go to get the supplies, to get medicine, etc., etc. Okay, so that's sort of what I've been thinking, and that's I think that'll be a bit of the bit of slang that we use. Okay, and a good title, if I do say so myself. So what I've done is I've changed, instead of starting with the survivors that get all killed, I thought it could be a good idea to start with the cat character, or the Cray survivor. And what I was really wanting him to, like a image that I had in my head is that he's pulling this cart, like a wooden cart, and it's got like a shop front, like an old ice cream or like an old food vendor cart. I don't know. I'll show you what I mean. Food vendor cart, wooden, something like this. So let me add this image here, just so we can see what we mean. Okay. Well, that's huge. Shrink it down. Here we go. So, and we'll discuss budget as well in this, but this is going to be something we need to build. Shop front cards. So we've got this Cray survivor who's pulling the shop front cart around the apocalypse. I wanted this to be like a really striking image, and I think it will be quite interesting. And I've also I'm gonna order a mask or a latex mask for the Cray survivor. I want him to look a bit like this. So I've got some goggles that he might be wearing on top of that. This is what he'll sort of look like. So he's got no mouth. He's all deformed from the apocalypse, from the radiation poisoning. Maybe he was close to one of the explosions when the nukes dropped. This is what he'll look like, yeah? So, he's pulling this cart around. He sets up shop, and he sees like an alien in the distance. Maybe this guy. So, I've started to procure alien latex masks. This will be a strange time for someone to join the live, but these masks will be what the aliens look like, and obviously there's like eye holes here. We'll work on that. I think with a bit of tender love and care, some of these masks can look quite realistic. So adding some like moisture or spraying some hairspray on the outside will help, especially around the eyes, to make them look wet. As eyes are, and covering up, yay, welcome. So covering up the with like maybe like a mesh hood or something, you won't be able to see through the eye holes. Now some of these masks have don't blend very well, so we'll use like scarves or jackets to sort of cover up the seams. And yeah, so this is what the aliens will look like. Now, this is how we'll open it. So we'll have this this Cray survivor guy on the road. He's pulling a cart like this, and he sees an alien in the distance. And he sets up shop. The alien comes and he buys some food off of the food vendor. Hello, good evening, welcome, Zachary. And the alien buys some food off of him, eats the food straight away because he's starving, it's the apocalypse, and then he collapses. The Cray survivor pulls him behind the cart. Now, the lore that I wanted to build about this radiation-affected, ghoulish type character is that he's a cannibal. Well, not a cannibal. He's he eats the aliens in this world, but of course he doesn't have a mouth. So what I'm going to do is have a like a food tube that I'm going to sew into the mask, and it'll be like a funnel. So he's going to funnel the food into his mouth. That's how he eats. So it'll just be this sort of body horror, gorish type thing. And I think that'd be a fun way to open and just set up the stakes of this world. Like, hey, it's not safe. Hey, aliens exist. Hey, it's a nuclear wasteland. Hey, it's set in Australia. And just so people know what to expect. What film is this? Good question. Last time we met on YouTube Live, we worked on a story outline for an apocalypse film. So we took into consideration the limitations that I have as a filmmaker. I don't have loads of money. I don't have loads of actors. I'm going to have to do pretty much everything myself with a few friends in terms of the cinematography and the sound and all that sort of thing. So we came up with a plot that we could sort of handle. Think like Mad Max cross Fallout, cross like The Road, like Cormac McCarthy's The Road. That's sort of where this is, what this is like. The background is that aliens have visited Australia in a dystopian future. Human governments, nuclear alien ships, leaving Australia an apocalyptic wasteland, nuclear wasteland, and aliens and humans surviving together in the outback. Well, look, Australia is pretty much a post-apocalyptic wasteland anyway. If you've seen Mad Max Fury Road, that's pretty much what every day is like here. So, so last time we came up with a bunch of characters. I've made some changes to the characters, but the heart of them remains the same. So thank you all for your contributions last time. You really helped me get started, and I had a lot of fun. So hopefully today's just as fun. I'm going to take you through what we're up to in terms of how the story has changed, and then we'll go from that to some of the more logistical things, like how am I going to pay for this, what is important to put money towards, and then what can I do myself, and then some of the fun stuff, like, hey, what sort of props can I get? If you guys have any ideas of gags or things that we can introduce that add production value to the film, we'll do that as well. So we'll go now to scene 1 with the group of survivors. Now, these guys didn't really have a big role in the initial beat sheet that we did. They just were there to die. I'm going to flesh them out a little bit. So these characters, this group of survivors, led by Willie, who I've now called William, because I think it's possibly a better name, but they negotiate some sort of deal where they're trading some weapons they found for a crate of supplies. And what's going to make these characters interesting is they're pacifists. They're trying to bring civility to this new dark world. They're not... they're interested in diplomacy and negotiation. They're not interested in fighting people. They don't carry weapons, which is why they're selling all their weapons. They're not there to cause a problem. They're not there to fight, and they have beliefs about the world. They have beliefs that that you can make it in this world by being kind and human. And that's sort of what their beliefs that they hold on to. So, of course, these guys, it doesn't end very well. They get ambushed and held at gunpoint. The leader of the group tries to de-escalate the situation, but fails. And the group are all killed, except for William, who runs away and hides. Initially, William's character was a coward. He was very scared. He... could have fought back and helped when the bandits attacked, but he was too scared and he hid away. That was the initial character. I had a chat to my friend Anton, and we went over the beat sheet that we did last time, and William's character would have been frustrating to watch, and we've seen it before as well. You've seen the cowardly character who has to build up courage and then avenge his friends or prove himself. That's something we've seen before. But what we've not seen before in nearly any apocalyptic story is a pacifist in the apocalypse. Like, think video games where you try and complete the video game in a non-lethal way. This is like they're doing apocalypse non-lethal style. They're trying to negotiate and trade and use diplomacy instead of fighting. So Scene ends the same way. William hides, watches his friends die. Okay, let me read some of the chat. Hold on. So for me, The Last of Us has kind of become the archetypal post-apocalyptic story. Yeah, and I think like a road trip story lends itself really well to the apocalypse because you get to explore multiple facets of the apocalypse at hand, and I think that's really fun. And that's sort of what we're doing here. But instead of The Last of Us, it's a little bit more like there's a zombie game on the Wii U. Sorry, I don't know if any of you remember the Wii U. There's a zombie game called Zombie U, I think. I'll probably, let me just look it up. Zombie game Wii U, or Wii U. Yeah, Zombie U. And it was a first-person apocalypse game. I can't even... this one, Zombie U. It was a post-apocalyptic first-person zombie game, and how it would work is when your character dies, it's like a roguelite game. So your character dies, and then you just take over another character in the apocalypse, and you sort of carry on the game. And this is a little bit like that. So when a character here dies, or we finish with their story, it'll hand over to the next person, and then we'll see the apocalypse through their lens, through their eyes. The challenge with that is we want to make sure that the arcs are satisfying. Like, we don't want to just have heaps of unsatisfying plot points, because more unsatisfying plot points doesn't make a more interesting film. It just makes it worse. It's more disappointment. So, yeah, I want to make sure, and feel free to provide input and feedback as I'm recapping what we've done. If you feel like these characters are not interesting, or their resolutions aren't interesting, definitely let me know, and we'll try and workshop it. And Zach said, if you need help writing dialogue, I wouldn't mind offering help. Sounds really cool. Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll probably put together a script, and then go and do another live after this, and then definitely that'd be the best way to provide input on writing. Sorry. So in terms of casting, I was initially just thinking myself for the William character. He's not the main character in the film, but what I'd sort of tried to do here is plan out who were the main segments, and then how would they stitch the next segment, and then how would they stitch the next segment. This is all just gibberish if you are not in my brain, but the William character I was going to use to stitch between different things, and because I'm going to be there all the time, it'll be easier scheduling wise if the characters that are the stitching roles between two stories are the ones that are involved in the production itself. So then I just need to get actors on the day where their scenes are, shoot them with myself, and then I can go and stitch that onto the next thing, rather than having to bring people back for a whole weekend or multiple days or multiple weekends. It'd be easier if we can sort of stitch each scene together with somebody who's involved in the production already and is going to be there anyway. Makes me feel a lot better when I'm asking people to help, if I know that I'm asking them just for a little bit of their time as opposed to a lot of their time. Now, we then move over to the Ben character last time. So last time we came up with a character named Ben. He's a survivor who stays in a bus with his partner, isolated from the world for months. The person he's sharing the bus with has fallen deathly ill. Ben is forced to choose between leaving the bus and breaking the rules, or staying and sealing the fate of his friend. This person is now called Eleanor. My friend and person I've worked with, Muireann Kane. She's an incredible local actress. She's been in heaps of things, from the new Elvis movie, or not new, the recent Elvis movie, Ticket to Paradise, and a few other things, including a lot of really great indie films that have come out. She was going to be in Professor Devours, but it didn't quite work out with scheduling, so I'm going to see if she's available for this. She was also in Over the Next Horizon, a feature film I did in 2022, so check that out. Zachary, I don't have a ton of cool ideas to offer so far. These sound pretty cool. You're in the Folk Film Discord. Yeah, I can add you from there if you'd like. Yeah, sure. Definitely add me there, man. That's where I be. So, Eleanor's holed up in a bus. I found this bus location, which is really cool. It's an Airbnb near me. And there's a long winding dirt road that leads all the way up to this bus under a shed. And the mountains are just gorgeous here. So it's these beautiful mountains. And then like a wooden palisade around it. And there's like a garden. And there's a shed next to it as well. So this is where we're going to open the film, essentially, is we're going to, when we get to Eleanor's character, this is where we're going to get into the swing of things with the film. And I love this location so much. This is so cool. So she's going to be here. I've decided she'll be with her aunt or her uncle. She'll be with some familial figure. Now her character she's a dreamer. She fantasizes about leaving the safety of the bus and finding one of the fabled aid drops that the UN supposedly left for survivors to give them resources they need to keep surviving. So these aid drops are sort of like a myth. This was come up with by, I think, Ben himself, the namesake of the character. So that's, going to be what leads her out of the bus. Zachary says, I just added you. Also, if you were in my region, it wouldn't be it wasn't such a dangerous place. Gary, Indiana would probably make such a cool location for this kind of story. Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'd love to go to America one day. It's one of my long-term goals is to fly up to the States and hang out with some of the cool filmmakers up there, like Danny, the Doomed Boys, RC Boys. There's a lot of people up there that make some really great stuff, and I'd love to connect with them all. I've talked to them all about it. I'm going to go up one time, but it's not anytime soon. I've got to save up. So, So this is where we'll get to do some exposition, I suppose, when they talk about the drops. They can, with the auntie, we can sort of... so I think we need to, at this point, explain why we saw an alien at the beginning. Like, we need to sort of start to unravel the story a little bit. So the auntie or uncle begs Elle not to go, but suspecting her aunt is close to death, she embarks on this dangerous journey away from the bus and towards the big smoke. So that's how the story starts. Now, when I get into the actual script writing for this, we'll unpack a bit more, maybe about the relationship. I had in the back of my mind maybe the farmers. There's some farmers that live next door that are doing the same thing, that hold up and they trade with them, but it's like a little quarantine pocket away from the rest of the craziness. An idea for a post-apocalyptic story in the Last of Us universe. I wish I could do something with. Yeah. That's the thing about ideas. It's like unlimited possibilities, but when it actually comes down to doing it, it's there's a lot to think about. So yeah, there's a lot more I could unpack here with Eleanor. I wanted her to have like a radio that she communicates with some of these survivors that are hiding near her. So she's not fully isolated from the world. She's not a vault dweller from Fallout, but she's definitely not ready for the highway, the big road, and the dangers that are on the road. So she follows the dangerous highway, which is just a long dirt road, but they're going to call it the highway or something else, I don't know. In hopes of finding the drop, an aid package, medicine, food for her household. So in this, I've called them scenes. These aren't really scenes; they're more beats. But just for the sake of being a bit orderly, we've just called them scenes. So she follows this dangerous highway, and then she's going to encounter a bunch of different situations that are going to introduce us and her to the world. So the first thing she's going to encounter is an alien corpse, which is now how she's going to realize that aliens are real, and they're not extinct. They're still around, because she'll of course know that the aliens have come and that everything was blown up, but not that aliens are still around. She thought that it worked. So it'll introduce us and Elle to the fact that aliens are in this world. This is from The Walking Dead, the zombie in the field. So we're going to do something a bit like that, where she will... the there'll be a human in the distance with horrific radiation burns sort of facing the other way, and she'll call out to him and then try and interact, and he turns around and he's got this rotten, destroyed face. I've ordered this mask here from Amazon. So this will be the horrific human, but as you can see from behind, he'll look perfectly normal. He'll obviously be costumed up. Then she'll call him, and he'll turn around, and we'll get a bit of a freaky moment. And this whole situation will teach her that life on the road is dangerous and unpredictable. It sets us up to anticipate anything to happen. We've seen aliens, we've seen this zombie-like thing. We're like, what the heck could happen? And then sort of the final thing that she comes across before we start getting into more plot-heavy things is a mute man carrying a chalkboard around to communicate. So this is an idea of a character that I came up with, Anton, my filmmaking buddy and writing partner from time to time. He wanted to play a character who maybe had a chalkboard around his head, or he's dragging this big chalkboard around, and he's mute. Don't know why. His tongue could be cut out. He could just be mute. He could be non-verbal. He could have severe autism. It could be anything. But he's dragging this chalkboard around, and he encounters Eleanor, and they communicate with the chalkboard. And I think that's it's a fun visual thing. So she camps for the night. And we come across the next morning our next two characters, Sheriff Roberts and Deputy Norrell. So these guys ask two questions every time they come across somebody, a bit like Rick Grimes does in The Walking Dead. They ask, what are you afraid of and who fears you? And this is how they get a grasp on the world. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Zach's just said, I'm on the autism spectrum. That's a character I could probably help with. That'd be fantastic. Thank you. I'll consult you if that's the path that we go down. Through this situation with the sheriff and the deputy, she learns that there's some semblance of law and order in the world, and that the Big Smoke, these officers are from the Big Smoke. Gives her some hope, but also reveals to her how much she doesn't know about the world. Now, what I had in mind for these guys is I wanted to do up some costumes for them where they have like number plates strapped to their vests, and the number plates are like their badge number, and that's how they introduce themselves. Like, so maybe their names won't be Roberts and Norrell, like maybe their names will be the badge number, and I think that could be a really fun sort of wasteland version of policing. They'll be really raggedy, and they'll be really their clothing will be really distressed, and they've been fighting and keeping order in this along the road for a long time. And they help her. They give her some directions to the city and give her some advice. Don't like fires, travel fast, etc., etc. Don't trust anyone. So then the officers leave Eleanor, and we start following the officers. Now, Eleanor's character now, in my opinion, we don't really need to follow. We don't need to catch up with her. We don't need to see what she's up to. We can now follow the officers, and this is what I was meaning with the baton passing. We now are following these two police officers, and we're now learning in a deeper way what this world holds, because they exist in it. So we're going to follow them. My dream casting is my buddy Adrian as the sheriff. He's played a police officer in pretty much every film we've done, but he crushes it. He's such a cool dude, and I think his confidence and his mannerisms when he's playing those roles, I think is sort of what I'm looking for the character. And Adrian then can exist as like a stitching character, like I was saying. So we follow Eleanor, who I'm friends with Mirren, but she's like an industry actor. I don't want to waste her time. I'll get her in for this and stitch her with Adrian, and then film with Adrian. Idea for the mute character, yes. What if he's some kind of oracle type figure? I'm thinking like the blind old black dude from Oh Brother Where Art Thou? Yeah, that'd be interesting. Let me make a note here with the oracle, with the mute man, that he could be an oracle. So we'll see where that goes. I'll run that through the ringer. I think what I was having in mind for the mute guy. Yo, Bullet Catch Films. Hey man. I'm taking a page out of your book with your latest film, which looked like it was shot with mostly natural light. That's what I'm doing here. It's a outdoorsy apocalypse film. This is my beat sheet / mood board for it. It's an apocalypse where aliens and humans coexist together in a nuclear wasteland. So that's what's going on. You're damn it, you're gonna make me look it up. Bullet Catch Films YouTube. Yeah, it's some beautiful shots in the trailer. I think it was Land of... might be Land of Wolves. Yeah, have a quick look.
Showing up on the first...
It could be Night Hunter. Night Hunter. Yeah, it could be Night Hunter. I think it was Land of Wolves. Just look at this. So beautiful. So this is sort of some of the vibe that I'm going for as well. Look at all this natural lighting. Unless it's not. Yeah, West Texas. Well, the Queensland Outback's not too different. So look how beautiful this is. Can I fly your cinematographer to Brisbane to make a movie with me in July? That'd be cool. Was that Ben Mendelsohn? That guy looks like Ben Mendelsohn, an Australian icon. Alright. That's enough. Go and watch Bullet Catch Films. He's a filmmaker who's got a number of films on YouTube. I think 2, maybe 3 full feature-length films so far. I don't know, like, what do you do? Are you distributing them anywhere else, or are you just putting them up on YouTube? What's your are you like putting them on Film Hub and trying to get them other places, or are you interested in exploring YouTube as like a just distribution method? Okay. So, if you're mostly shooting this outdoors, Zachary said, I'd suggest getting a lens with a vintage character to it. Can imagine a lot of Terrence Malick type imagery in this. It's funny you should say that. I'm planning on... I've got an old SLR lens. Is that even the term? I've got an old like manual lens that I've attached to... I've adapted to my DSLR camera. So... I used it a bit for Over the Next Horizon, and I did manage to get some of those, really interesting. Just the way the light interacts with it is really interesting, and it's, gives it a very different look. So I'm thinking I will be using some vintage lens with this, so hopefully it turns out the way I'm imagining. So where we're at is where... I'm sort of just taking you through the plot so far, but I'll speed it up a bit because I'm going real slow, and we can get on to some of the other things with planning and that sort of thing. So Eleanor encounters these detectives, these police officers, the sheriff. They come across like an alien begging for food. I just wanted to show all the different aspects of the apocalypse, and now I'm actually developing these characters. So they're compassionate, they're determined, they're very like on the personality spectrum. They're like lawful good characters. And they come across the massacred survivors from scene 1 all the way back up here. And they decide to track down. They start collecting evidence. They start bagging evidence. They start trying to find survivors of the group. They start to try and piece together what happened, because they're the peace officers, the law officers on this road, and they have to solve that crime. How long are you thinking this will be? I'm not 100% sure. It could be. It really depends on the on what happens when I write it in an actual script format. I think I'll have a better idea. I'm thinking it'll be at least maybe 50, 60 minutes long. A lot of the films that I've been making, and then what seems to be possible over maybe 5 shooting days, which is what I'll have for this, is probably like a mini feature film. So Professor Devours, a film that we've done, which hasn't come out yet, but we're working on it. It's about 50 minutes long. Over the Next Horizon's about 50 minutes. With the time allowance that we have, I think that's what I'll be able to get done, and yeah, that'll change as well when we start to piece together the resources we have, and then see if is it going to be possible to do this whole story, or are we going to have to trim some bits out, cut out a few storylines? Are we going to have to do them as short films? Like, I'll have a bit of a better idea, but this is definitely the story I want to tell, and I'm thinking it'll most likely be about 50, 60 minutes long. It'll be like another little micro feature film, like a little novelette of a film. So these police officers encounter William, the guy that survived at the beginning, the pacifist character, and he's sort of in denial. He's sort of in denial about his situation. He thinks that maybe it's because he's blaming the guns, not the people. He believes that people are inherently good, and this is, this could have all been avoided. They offer him to come and assist them to try and find the people that hurt his friends, but it's not successful, and he declines to go with them. And they leave. I think you should do the 90-minute film. The difference between 90 and 50 is only a few days of production. Yeah, for sure. Reason for the Apocalypse is left vague, and you're sort of observing a day in the lives in that context. Yeah, that's what I did with Over the Next Horizon. Is I had... it wasn't clear what had caused the apocalypse. I think I want to have a clear idea what caused the apocalypse. And then if we're introducing alien characters into the apocalypse as well, I think it's important for us to have some sort of explanation about, hey, what's actually going on, why they're aliens. But at the same time, it's having a character sit down and say, oh, I remember when the aliens attacked and the nuclear bombs dropped and left us with the aliens in the wasteland. Like, no one wants to watch a scene like that. It takes you out of the film, it takes you out of the experience, and you're going, they're expositing right now. I want to drop us into it, but I want there to be enough hints that someone could piece together what's happened. So that'll come in with the writing, and how well we can piece together the dialogue to explain but not over-explain. Bullet Catch Films. In my opinion, I think you should do the 90 minutes film. The difference between 90 and 50 is only a few days of production. Yeah, if you're fast, definitely. I think I would love to shoot for a 90-minute film, but I am also producing these off of basically a $0 budget. So we're going to get to budget soon once I get us all up to speed with the plot. The budget for this film is only a couple of $100, and only have so much time that I can actually take off of work to work on it as well. Because I'm not doing I'm not making films full time yet. This is really a passion project, and I've I'm a little bit limited with what I can do in terms of how much time. So I think it's really really going to be maybe 4 or 5 shooting days, and I'm pretty confident I can get about 10 minutes of usable footage out of a 10-hour day. So if we can work at that pace, I should be able to tell the full story. Land of Wolves is $0 budget. That's amazing, dude. Wow. And I'd suggest not showing the aliens up close. Yeah, we'll work on that. I want to maybe do some painting. This is definitely the worst alien I have. I've got I think that guy looks kind of cool, but let's have a look. What other ones am I getting? I've sort of tried to find alien masks where the aliens look like the same species, maybe. But, you know, they're the same, they're big eyes, holes for nose type aliens. But they're just different, they're just different cultures of alien, like different races of the same species. So yeah, these are some of the aliens I was looking at, and the worst one that the one that probably looks the worst is this one. But some of these I've tried to be mindful about how I'm going to show the aliens. So the alien beggar that I've got is going to be all covered up, with a hood and that sort of thing. The dead alien, you'll only see half his face, and I'm going to sort of put a lot of fake blood or like green blood over him, so it's not so clear. And I'm going to do things like give them big goggles. It'll be winter when we're shooting this, so just layering them up, and then, like I said, with the eyes, I want to make them sort of shimmery and wet. So I might be able to achieve that with like spray paint or something. So yeah, flea market. The thing is, Australia isn't as excited about Halloween as you guys. Like, it's hard to find good props here. I've found, not impossible, but hard. When your mind fills in the blanks. Yeah, look, with the aliens, costuming like tribes from the Sahara Desert. Yeah, that'd be really cool. I didn't necessarily want the aliens to be super scary in this. In my mind, I was thinking, hey, these aliens at this point are coexisting with the humans. So I wanted some groups to have human-alien combinations. I wanted to sort of come up with a bit of an alien language and have humans know, like, basic alien, and then the aliens know basic English, and they sort of... I was even contemplating having the deputy be an alien as well. Like, they're cohabiting at the moment. It's like common enemy. So we'll see how we go. I think I might also do some test footage as well, just to see how we can make it work too. Because this whole thing would work without aliens. Like, aliens aren't a necessary part of this. It could just be a normal apocalypse. But I wanted to do something a bit different, and you gotta set yourself apart a little bit, I think. So to stand out in the world of YouTube apocalypse films. Okay, so this is where the crazed survivor comes back. So we've introduced this guy at the beginning. He's going to be a bit of a lunatic. He's going to eat aliens. He loves them. They're delicious. So that's why I was contemplating having Narelle be an alien. So the two police officers pull up. They try to interact with him, and it goes south, and he kills them. And then I think I'm going to imply that he sort of cannibalizes them and then resells their meat from his little shop front. So he keeps going along, and that's where he's going to encounter the chalkboard guy again. So there's a character Bullet Catch, who drags a chalkboard around and he uses it to communicate. So the Cray survivor is going to encounter the chalkboard guy, then string him up as a trap. And what I wanted to do is have the bandits that stole the crate at the beginning come across the trap and get killed by the Cray survivor. So essentially, where I'm seeing it going in terms of the characters is William's character is a pacifist who tries to make it in the apocalypse by using diplomacy and relationships and negotiation to make it in the apocalypse. And what his character learns in throughout the course of the film is that philosophy doesn't always work, and that's his beliefs that get challenged are that you can survive in this world with on non-lethal mode, right? And he learns that that's not possible when his beliefs are challenged by being exposed to so much violence. And he comes to terms with it, and what it'll come to is it'll be a showdown between him and this Cray survivor, who ends up killing the people that stole the crate in the first place and keeping the crate. William's going to have a scene with Eleanor. They're going to... these are the two characters that are on the biggest sort of learning journey. Eleanor's going to come across him, and she'll be... she's cautious and doesn't trust him. She's trying to learn from the detectives who gave her their advice. She's not... she's cautious and scared of the world, and she's scared of people that she's meeting. So she's scared of William and thinks that he's probably not safe. But she hears him talk about this crate with medical supplies and food, so she wants to follow him to get there, but she does it secretly. So he goes off and she follows him. What will happen at the very end is William will end up having to kill the Cray survivor, which is the ultimate confrontation to his beliefs that he should be able to handle everything peacefully, and he ends up killing this guy. There's no reasoning with him, and he has to defend himself. So he has to use violence at the end, and Eleanor will arrive because she's been following them, and she sees William covered in blood. It looks like he's just totally gone crazy on this guy, and she will kill him because she's scared of him and she's scared of the world, and then she'll take the medical supplies back, and that's her arc finished as well. So that's sort of where the characters will go and what they'll learn. Now, the only missing thing that in the story so far is I need a side mission for Eleanor to go on. Like, we could just have her follow him, but in this scene here, we've got William heading off to try and find the crate, and I want Eleanor to just have one more thing to do. I want her to get distracted, or there's some sort of side mission. And this comes back to what Bullet Catch was saying around possibly having a longer film would be really fun too. So if there's anything that she can do, I think what I want is her to come across another situation. I'll just jot this down. Come across another situation that exposes, that causes her to feel more fear. So it's sort of like a side boss, right? If you're thinking about it like a video game. I want her to come across somebody who's dangerous, scary, makes her feel unsafe. And she has to be strong to get out of that situation, but I want her to come across lots of situations that validate her fears about the world, so that when she gets to the point where she sees William, who's in this in the aftermath of this big conflict, it's the final straw. It's like, okay, no one's good, everyone sucks, I need to get out of here. I would say in order to expand on the universe, Bullet Catch says, you will need people to care about the characters. So instead of a possible side mission, what about a miniseries that brings you into the world? Yeah, look, I've given a miniseries a go. I'm trying to release one at the moment on YouTube, and they're not. It's not going too well in terms of mini scenes that bring you into the world. Yeah, sure. Are you saying like she comes across different situations where we understand her character better, and she will learn more about the world, or we'll learn more about her. You talking about save the cat moments, like where we start to care about her and or interactions with the aliens. Yeah, we had some alien family ties to do with something, how she gets kidnapped and tries to escape from them. Also, living the bus makes me think of Sean Penn movie Into the Wild. Yes, it does. This is where she lives. Her little her bus. I think her getting kidnapped could be fun. I want, especially if we're releasing it on YouTube. I'm not sure how you go, Bullet Catch, with your retention rate on your films, but mine suffer, man. They suffer hard. And I think what I'm really wanting with this is to just have continually raising stakes, continually something engaging is happening. Yeah, I know, right? Mine set it between 8 and 13% for, after the beginning of the film. Yeah, same, right? So I'm building up subscribers, and people seem to like the films. But of all the people, not as many people watch the film the whole way through as comment on the film. So there's less people that actually finish watching the film than actually people that comment on it. So clearly not everyone's engaged enough by what I'm doing to finish watching some of these films. So that's why I'm focusing on, instead of making a longer film, I want to maybe make shorter films that are super. I just want someone to be watching it, and then it's just they can't, they're just hooked. They can't stop watching it. It's just so entertaining and so visceral, and maybe funny at parts that it's just it just brings them in. So her getting kidnapped, yeah, that's fun. Elle gets kidnapped. She has to escape. Maybe she falls into a trap. Maybe she tries to save somebody but fails, which can connect to her trying to save the craze survivor. So maybe she tries to save somebody and it doesn't work out, and she feels guilty, or she doesn't help them in time, and then when she sees William beating the crap out of the craze survivor, she's gonna go, "I'll save you, mate." Maybe I can save this one, not knowing that he's a super evil character. Something for world building I always think about is Blade Runner. Ooh, love Blade Runner. Tell me more. What do you think? What do you think about world building with Blade Runner? Tell me. So anyway, so that's pretty much how the story is going to go. Now, in terms of where I'm sitting for, I'll just go maybe budget breakdown. Now we talk about and Bullet Catch mentioned it before as well. He's like, I made a $0 film, and it's like, yeah, you did. Over the Next Horizon was pretty much a $0 film as well. It's a film that I made a few years ago, but it wasn't really a $0 film. It was in the sense that I've had $0 to budget for this film, But I had to take time off work to film it. That costs money. I had to drive around between all these different places. I had to put together the costumes. Most of them I just made with duct tape and like I sort of... And a lot of them I already owned. But if I'm starting to explore territory, $0 equals $5,000. Yeah, right. So like if I had $5,000, I could much more confidently make this film. For me, $0 looks like $500, which is actually how much money I've been given to make it. So like I can't pay a sound guy to come out for 4 days to boom the audio for us. I can't. I'm going to have to do the cinematography myself. I'm going to have to act in it as well. I can't pay any of the actors, which is why I'm so trepidatious about scheduling, because I don't, like, especially with the writers and the actors strikes that have happened in the last few years, I don't want to be taking advantage of people. Like, I don't. And some people might be like, hell yeah, like, I'd love to have a feature film on my resume. I'll jump in and act on this, in this. And I'm sure they would, but deep down I know that it is taking advantage of them. Like, they're doing a service and they're doing it for free, which is why my friends and the other people that produce these films, I turn to them first to act in it. So budget breakdown, I can't pay anyone involved. It's just like the precedent as well. Like, I can't pay one person and not the other. So you're gonna have to rely on friends. Friends and family mainly. So, what I've been... Yeah, you can say anything you want, man. What I've been working on over the last couple of years has been developing the skills that are necessary to do all the different roles in a film production. So for me, I've been working on mastering the art of cinematography, because I just can't afford to schedule and pay a cinematographer to come in, so I'll just do it myself. I edit all my films, and I'm learning those skills so that I can not need to pay an editor or pay a VFX artist or something like that. But sound is sort of the last thing that I've not mastered. So recently I've invested a little bit of money for some wireless lav mics. I've invested a bit of money in getting like a boom pole to put my shotgun mic on, and like a Zoom recorder to record the shotgun mic audio into, and that recent expense has come out of the budget. So the budget breakdown is literally probably about $800. So I've been gifted $500 by my wife. I will withdraw some money from my Patreon to pay for it as well. Then I might need to sell some stuff, I don't know, but there's like, I'm just building up a little budget. And the priorities for the budget, sound, because that's something that has not been, you can't really tell on YouTube, but if you really pick apart my films, the sound is probably the weakest part in them, and it's a common theme where I have to go back and do redubbing sometimes. I just want to get it right the first time. Bullet Catch says, can I say something? Yes. It's not taking advantage of them, it's content creation, even for the actors. They do value that. Yeah, and we've got a whole cast of people that we've built relationships with that have acted in our things for free, and I totally get that. But at the same time, it's like, I know that I'm not, like, I know in my heart that I'm not taking advantage of them, and a lot of them are keen to be in student films or in short films, and they do want to be a part of it. But the landscape's changing, man. Like, that's not the way that everyone sees things, and like, I get it, and I'm always like, until I can do this full time or until I blow up or something, I'm gonna need to be asking favors from people. I'm gonna need to be finding ways to reciprocally have experiences with these artists who are coming and helping me do stuff. But by me being able to do sound, camera, edit, that saves a lot of money in the budget. I won't need to pay people to do that stuff. I can gaff, I'm not going to have to pay people to do all those things. So, I'm going to have to purchase some sound gear but that's cheaper than getting a sound guy. I'll just purchase sound gear, and then I've got, I'll work with some of our other producers to one of them will just hold the boom mic or whatever. The next priorities that I have are locations and costumes. So in terms of where this budget will go, that's pretty much where it will go. Oh, and obviously food. Food. Duh. Food is very important. So locations like this one up here, that costs money. That'll be about $200 to use that location. It's an Airbnb. I'm going to try and find some other locations like that. Location scouting will cost a bit of money as well, but we'll paying $200 to stay at an Airbnb like this and having such an awesome location to film at is going to add a lot of value to the film. And then costumes as well. Like, it will cost a little bit of money to make these not look goofy. And it will cost a bit of money as well to invest in costumes and makeup and that sort of thing as well. But the costumes and set deck are gonna make this more fun for people to watch. How far is the Outback? That's a great question. It's so when I say Outback, let me just pull up a map. I hope I don't dox myself. That'd be terrible. Does it show me where I am? That's could be problematic. Okay. Oh, not really. It's just searching map. Okay, sure. So I live around this area here. Let me go layers, terrain. No, I want satellite. Show me satellite. So, really, this is the Outback. So it's very far out. That's like multiple days drive. But what I'm looking at is sort of not proper Outback, like sand. I'm not going that far out. These can I is there street view for like out here? Yeah. So we ain't going this far out, boys and girls. That is well and truly Outback. Where I'm thinking of going is more, there's a place called the Lockyer Valley, which is a really cool area. There's sort of like farms and fields. This is sort of where I'm thinking of going. Not exactly here, but this is sort of the vibe that I'm going for. It's something a bit like this. Like it's wide open spaces. There's dead and dying trees. This is sort of what I'm aiming for. It's quite close, but they'll also go through forests and stuff. Like if you have a look at Over the Next Horizon, some of my other films, you'll see sort of what I mean as well. Okay, here's another area like this. This is what I'm going for. I know that property, but this is the when I say Outback, this is what I'm looking to imagine. Can I go that way? Woo! Maybe I found my next location, everyone. Is there a fence there? Out there is. Okay. Somewhere like this. Have a look at that. So that's sort of what I'm thinking in terms of a lot of the location. But I'll be investing in staying places like this. There's a few other Airbnbs I'm looking at that are like brick huts or like cabins, stone cabins and that sort of thing. Little sand hills. Yeah, there's some sand dunes that are out and about. There's a few interesting ones. Oh, I've not heard of that. I live in Brisbane, which is far from Melbourne. But I have been to Melbourne before. Oh, sorry, I was looking at this in the wrong tab. Oh, here. Oh, that is very cool. You should look at that. Is that what we're referring to? Oh, here. Oh, that's okay. I'll need to say Melbourne then. Is this it? Either way. Yeah, Morden Island. Morden Island is beautiful. I would love to kayak over to Morden Island one day. I do a fair bit of water stuff, so I'll one day I'll make the journey. Not been yet, but yeah, well, I live in, for context, I live in a place called Moreton Bay, so it's the bay that Morden Island creates. So yeah, okay. So this is sort of the breakdown and how I'm going to have to prioritize it. I'll have to spend probably about $200 on like a good Zoom recorder, a boom mic, and a good shotgun mic. I already have, but and then headphones to listen to the audio on. Locations will be maybe another $200 to $500 depending, and that really only leaves like scraps for costumes. But I have already ordered, as you can see, I've already ordered a couple of these. Again, I'm just trying to, I hope I don't dox myself. I don't think so, unless people can access these order numbers or something. But yeah, I think some of these latex masks are going to be good. They do look a little bit goofy, but that's sort of I wasn't going for like a dead serious tone with this film as well. Like it's not going to be like Cormac McCarthy's The Road. We're going to look maybe a little bit more like Fallout, a little bit more like Mad Max. Like I'm going for a fun apocalypse this time, not so much a serious, depressing apocalypse. We're going to have a bit of fun with this one, and I think if we play the tone right, we'll be able to get away with some silliness with the costumes. I think we'll be okay. So yeah, so this is where I'm at. I think what I'm going to do next, I'm going to start writing the script. I've sort of got. No, before I'll finish this point. So L's side mission. So Zachary, you were saying you like the idea of her failing to rescue someone. So maybe L is overhearing this conversation, which is when William finds the guy tied up and used as a trap. Sorry, let me share this as well. I'll put this in the, wonder if links work in the, anyone the link can view. Does that link work? Yay, it does. So there you go. Now anyone can jump in and give it a read for themselves as well to try and catch up. So I feel like I did a fairly average job at just explaining the story as it goes. But so Elle's going to be overhearing a conversation as she's stalking William. with the chalk guy. To follow William as he goes further down the path, but is distracted when she hears a voice cry out from figure that out in the script. So my thought is that she's planning on following him, but she hears a voice cry out someone needing help, so she goes to try and help them. Now this can go a million different ways, but I sort of like the idea of introducing a creature, or like a like if you've seen Fallout mutants, I like the idea of introducing like a mutant type character. This is not, maybe I'm silly. Fallout radioactive creatures. I feel like there's creatures in Fallout. Yeah, like this. Like a... Yeah, I like the idea of her coming across something like this, like a mutated creature. But of course, budget-wise, I'm not going to be able to do that. So it'll either have to be like humanoid with a mask. Anyway, so let's see, who could her victim be? Maybe maybe her victim is, I think we need to do something a little bit more with aliens here. So where aliens were being introduced at this point in time is the bandits. Some of them were going to be aliens. The beggar was going to be an alien, which we used to sort of develop Robert's character a bit. At the beginning, she finds a dead alien on the road. So I think maybe we need another alien character. So it's an alien getting beaten up on by a bogan / redneck for you Americans. So I like the idea of her intervening in a situation like this, of like, and this can be as well how we bring some exposition into the film without it being, you know, too heavy-handed. The aggressor is a human and is blaming the alien for coming in the first place. A Finnish person? What? You mean Finland isn't like the Scandinavian country? They all rednecks. Finnish cowboy. What? Or maybe not cowboy, but Finnish. Finnish rednecks. Maybe they are, but this could be confirmation bias, because I have looked for that exact thing. Wow, interesting. Alright. So the aggressor is a human. Blame the alien for coming in the first place. They beat so it's to tries to stop them. Yeah, so this will depend on Elle's character as well. Look, so we've established that she's cautious and doesn't trust anyone. No way! Ah, no idea. Except that Florida's like damn hot, right? So, wow. Okay, I didn't know that. My one of my best friends, Anton, is from Sweden, and I will have to ask him that. See what his take on it is. So, the aggressor is human, blame the alien for coming in the first place. Okay, so I wanted Eleanor to try and to like take action here. So Elle calls out for him, for the hillbilly to stop. He keeps beating on the alien. Elle tries to pull him off, but she is thrown into a tree, and the alien is shot by the redneck. So what I'm imagining is that he's like beating on this alien. Eleanor calls out. He like looks at her, goes, "Oh, she's just some girl," and keeps beating up on the guy. Elle tries to pull him off. He throws her into a tree, gets a gun out, kills the alien, and then when he turns to Eleanor, she shoots and kills him. Tries to help dead alien. So then I like the idea of her, because this isn't like a video game, like she's not just like tango down and then she moves on. I wanted her to be obviously quite shell-shocked by this, and then she maybe tries to help the alien that's just been shot and killed. She might be trying to help, try and make it be alive, and it's just so clearly dead. That could be a bit of a dark moment there. That's where I was sort of wanting to go with this scene. And then when she arrives at the scene of the next fight and sees William covered in blood, she's terrified and kills William, confirming her fears about the world. Sweet. So yeah, what I'll do from here is I'm going to go and shore up some of this in a script and then see how it works in that format. At which point I might call on the help of my... how many people have come in at some point today? 17 at some point throughout the stream. So thank you everyone who's come by and participated and helped. You've got the Google Doc link there, so feel free to give it a read. And if you're interested in giving me some feedback or having a bit more input into it, you can... if you want to jump into our Discord, that's available through Patreon, so you can go in that way. Otherwise, you can just message me on Instagram or Discord or something as well. And then, if you are interested in Late Night 99 and stuff that we're up to, we're doing this month we're going to be releasing the final part of Marana. So that's a anthology series we've been going through. I'll pull it up actually. View my channel. So Marana is an apocalyptic disaster film that I've split up into parts and released as a series. So how this came to be is I reached out to filmmaker friends that I have made over the years on the internet and said, hey, I'm making an apocalypse film. Can you shoot like a short story about your character in the final days before a meteor strikes Earth and destroys all humanity? You got 5 days. Fill it in as your character deals with coming to terms with the end of times, and so they sent me their footage, and I've edited it together in this in like an anthology series. It's come together so well. It's awesome, and I really would ask you to check it out if you like have touched the folk filmmaking online space at all. You'll know some of the people that are in this. The Doom production guys are in it. I'll show you the I'll play the trailer just before I go. I just got to make sure that if I play sound, does it play? I think it does. All right. So I'll play a trailer for Marana then. We'll go this one. Oh no, that's the whole part. What am I doing? There we go. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes. So that's the Don't Tell show. All these people are awesome.
We made a commitment to this job when we signed up to it.
You're the station that people turn to in their time of need. People are freaking out at home. You need to keep it together.
There's a lot of fear and panic over nothing. My sources say it's not even a big con.
Jesus is coming back. Jesus is coming back, and you can be the first.
So that was part 2. So part 2's already come out. Part 1's come out. We've got part 3 out. Part 4's out, and we're getting to the final bits of Marana. Part 4 just came out. Let's pull that up.
If we started driving right now, we could get to
So this is RC Films. They've got a film coming out this Friday. This little promo segment's just going to turn into promoting everyone else. This is Nicholas. He runs the Don't Tell show. They do film reviews. They do heaps of stuff. And he's got a great film called Black Dog. So definitely check that out if you're wanting to watch something a little bit meta, a little bit cool. This is the Doom production guys. They're in it.
I thought we all agreed on
I mean, the
Taco
red
Bell
light
segment.
is pretty indicative. With folks at home, you're experiencing a candid look behind the scenes here at Channel 6 News. Just
Alright, this is towards the end. This is Stefan. He played Wolverine in our Weapon X film. He's awesome. I'm not going to spoil too much of this, but this is the climax of this episode. And what did he see? What did he see, everyone? I want to know. Oh, and if you've not seen any of this episode, the first, if this isn't a good, I just want to show you something, and then I'll wrap up the live. But can I just say, if this isn't a good hook for an episode of a TV series, I don't know what is.
My rage can only be described as horny.
How good is that? Gage crushes it in Marana. It's seriously such a good character that he plays. Let's Scream TV. What are you trying to do for your next feature? Any plot ideas yet? Well, buddy, we just wrapped up the planning our next feature. It's an apocalyptic film, in an apocalyptic nuclear wasteland featuring crazy mutants, featuring aliens, and it's about a bunch of different characters who are sort of navigating the wasteland, and their beliefs about the world are challenged, and they have to learn how to survive in this treacherous, dangerous place. So we've taken inspiration from a bunch of different places, but have a look at this. So this is one of the locations we've got, which is like a bus that you can sleep in. It's an Airbnb that we're going to use. We've got the idea to have police officer characters, like a sheriff and a deputy, and on their bulletproof vests, they're gonna have license plates bolted to their chests. That's what they're gonna use as their their badge number. I can show you the alien. So there's going to be a few of these. I'll have to do some work on the mask to make it look a little bit more realistic, because at the moment it looks a little bit goofy. I look like a Giga Chad alien, but we'll work on that. I'm going to be giving them goggles. They'll be sort of wrapped up and have like masks and like gas masks maybe, and then like scarves around their necks too, just to cover that line up if it's there for any of the aliens. We actually just got done filming a Star Wars fan film too, so we have a lot of leftover costumes from that film, so we'll be using some of those costumes too, which takes me back to the budget. That's why the budget for the costume is like nil, like it's very low. That's because we've already got a few. So yeah, I suppose that's us wrapping up a little bit then. So if you enjoyed this, if you had a fun time, let me know. If you want to check out our Patreon, if you want to check out the some more of the script, it's like I said, it's pinned here, the Google Doc, so you can give it a read and let me know if you have any feedback. I love that idea. Is the main enemy the creature, and what other challenges the characters face? You're baiting me, man. You're baiting me into keep talking about it. This guy's going to be the main character, the main villain. Essentially, he's just a very chaotic person, and is the force that challenges all the characters' beliefs. There's a character who's a pacifist, and this creepy, crazy alien forces him to use violence. There's a character who, the police officer, has a good read on people, and he can predict situations before they happen. He's like a really good detective. He's a really good sheriff. But this crazy survivor gets the better of him because he's just so crazy and so out of his mind that it throws him off guard, and his logic and his behavioral patterns don't work for people who are insane. They only work for normal people. There's a character who's fearful of everyone that they come across, and their beliefs are confirmed. The more dangerous situations they come across, and their beliefs about the world are galvanized over time rather than challenged. So I think it'll be pretty entertaining, pretty satisfying watch. It's gonna be essentially the fun version of my feature film Over the Next Horizon. So if you are interested to see what it might feel a little bit like, it might be a little bit like Over the Next Horizon, which which was a cool film that we did back in 2022. It's not the best film I've ever made, but I have a huge soft spot for it. It's a lot of fun. So if you want to watch a dramatic apocalypse film, this is sort of a bit like what we might be doing, except less drama and then more camp, more fun, more goofiness. This is like a very Over the Next Horizon is a very serious, dramatic apocalypse. It's closer to like The Road or The Walking Dead or something. The tone I'm going with this other film that we're working on now is going to be a lot closer to like Mad Max or Fallout or something like that. So, yeah, if you've not seen Over the Next Horizon, definitely go and check it out. It's on our channel. It's a great movie. I think if you're interested in apocalypse films, and it's definitely one of the better ones on YouTube, I think. But I'm extremely biased. So, thank you for the recurring people. Thank you for people who have come back from the first time and been a part of this again. We've in terms of you've helped me process some of the themes and some of the character arcs a little bit better when I've had to then explain them, and you sort of helped me start to break down what I'm going to do in terms of the budget and what I need to prioritize with the budget, which is great. And then I think the missing piece of the puzzle in a lot of ways was what happens to Elle's character that forces her to or that makes her final scene so much more impactful as well, where she couldn't save character earlier in the film, so then when she comes across this situation where like she projects her own experiences onto this situation and ends up killing her co-lead because she thinks that she's saving someone, which she failed to do earlier. So I think we've got some interesting things going on here. Yeah, a collab chat would be really cool. I feel like I have to learn how to do them. But yeah, I'd love to do something like maybe having like a filmmaking round table, like a round table discussion with people, directors of films on YouTube, and talk about our experiences and things that have been hard. Do you like making entertainment films or those with multiple locations? I've done both. Contained thrillers are really fun to make. We have a feature coming out later this year called Professor Devours, which is a contained thriller. But then Over the Next Horizon was like a big odyssey, like spanning lots of locations and lots of places, and this one will be very similar in terms of its scope. So yeah, I enjoy doing both. Well, I'll do more lives, man. So subscribe to us, have a look at some of our other films, and yeah, I'll be doing more of these, particularly around this film as more ideas come out. But I'd love to have more filmmaking chats with people, and I think it's a good time, and it's a good way to keep spurring each other on and keep the excitement about the filmmaking process, because it's hard, and it's hard to do on your own as well. And I have a feeling a lot of people feel as I do sometimes, like you're on a bit of an island when you're doing creative stuff, and no one seems to be as excited about it as you are. But let me guarantee you, or assure you, that there are people that are just as passionate about it as you are. You just have to find the right people, find the right friends, and a lot of these people are online as well. So at the moment, the folk filmmaking Discord is a good place to find people, but Twitter as well. Like, just go and find me on Twitter, and then follow some of the people that I follow, and you'll quickly expose yourself to a whole group of really open, welcoming filmmakers. And yeah, I'm gonna try and shout some of them out over this year on YouTube. Do little film spotlights on their movies. I did a spotlight on filmmaker Danny Lotz. And this is the last thing I'll shout out before I go. Wrong one. This one.
Just it in. It could be really boring too. I have no idea.
So this is Danny. Danny is an amazing filmmaker. She's amazing. So go and watch this film. It's called 6 Days Alone. It's a contained thriller. It's found footage. It's horrifying, and it's a meta found footage film about online filmmakers or about filmmakers. So definitely check out her film. It's amazing. It's amazing. Go and subscribe to me as well, because I'm gonna do more of these. I'm gonna do more film spotlights where I talk about other filmmakers and the filmmaking process. So I've yabbered on long enough. I'll wrap this up. But thank you everyone again for being here. Thanks for participating in this. Thanks for having fun with me, and thanks for helping me plan my next feature film. All right, I'll catch you later, guys.